Okay, it's funny. I have not saved at all in this video, but I've not saved the file at all. But you probably have just saved. To save the file, you just have to do your Control S, or you come to the top right there. You come to the top here, and you click on Save. Okay, if I click on Save, I get this. So it's telling me that this is where it's going to save. I think I'm okay. I'm okay with where it's going to save. If you don't want it, you click on More Option, and then you browse. You click on your desktop, documents, downloads, videos, pictures, wherever you want to save it. So just call it Superstore analysis. Okay, take that analysis and bracket Power BI crash course. Power BI crash course. Okay, that's a long name, but it's okay. I'll be able to remember. And I'll put this at the end. Right. So save. Now I have the name saved. Okay. So showing the time and it updates. So going forward, I just have to hit Control S on my keyboard and then it saves. So make sure you do that. Save the file so that I don't lose all your data. And if you probably somehow have not been saving, just go over it again. The videos should be pinned, or you can find the link to all those videos what you missed in the description below. Okay. So far in the previous video, we've explored the overview. We looked at, oh, what is this, what we can do with this. We looked at all of these, we looked at all of these, we looked at this guys right there. Now also we entered Power Query, we loaded this data. Now it's incomplete. All right, so let's go back to Power Query now. How do we get into Power Query again? We hit our transform data. And do not forget that we can click on this from any of the view. So let's see that. Okay, so I'll close this. Just it has loaded, but I'll close it again. I think I did already. If I'm on the table view, let's just that. I can click on Home, and I'll see transform data. If I'm on the model view, I can also see transform data. So let's enter from this place this time, and it's loading. All right, so I'll just expand this. All right, so let's collapse this, all these errors, collapse them so that they're not looking too much for us. Don't forget that the ones that are italicized there have been disabled from loading into our model. Okay, so what can I do? I can take them, I can drag them down or drag them up so that they can be together, but let me just drag it up since it's more like we did not use them. All right, so we're gonna create a new group for them. Unloaded. Let's just call them unloaded. I'll click on that. Okay, so unloaded. I also move this into that place, unloaded. So collapse it that way. Nice. You can see it's now making sense. And this is the data we are now working with. Those are just pro tips for you, by the way. You know, for anything you get from this channel, you don't just learn. You get practical knowledge, you get experience sprinkled on you, or you're blessed with experience, and you also do not you have an edge. You have an edge, because these are some of the things that you pay a full cost for and you still won't get. Trust me. Check millions of YouTube videos or millions of videos, millions. That's probably hyperbole, literally, literature. Okay, but yes, you can tell that you're learning so much. So all you can do is subscribe, hit the like button, share with someone that might be in need of it more than you. And if you are the person, make sure you take your time to go through it. Whenever there's an exercise to do, there's a challenge, make sure you participate. If you're not in the Telegram channel where things are happening, you're probably missing out. So do well. The link is in the description below. Do well to join the Telegram channel. You can also meet other data enthusiasts and professionals there. You share ideas, you share your thoughts, you join challenges, you join quizzes, you get tasks to do. All of those things are there. You get fun facts and a lot more. I can't just talk about everything. So do well to check the description below to join the Telegram channel. All right, we have everything nicely organized. Yeah, that's cool. So now we have products, customer, product, and sales. So let's go to customer first. After knowing our data, which we did in the previous video or the last one, we use the view ribbon in the Power Query window to know our data, right? This is where we did column profiling. We're able to know a few things about our data. All right. So what are the options that we have? We have the home with all of these options: close and apply, or close only, or apply only. Probably want to see our transformation before leaving Power Query, and click on apply. Okay, inside here, so we see what it looks like before we close out of Power Query, or we can just close and apply if we're sure what we did is okay, it's fine, we're good, and just close and apply directly. But if we apply, if there's any error, we'll see it here, we'll fix it here before moving on. So I'm not exploring all of them yet. So we have the new query to connect to more data sources. We have data source settings, we have parameters, export query results, review refresher view, query section, managing columns, reducing rows, sorting, and we have transformation. Then we have combine. So same thing, not same thing, but we have the transform ribbon as well, where we have the table options, things you can do. You have column options, detecting data type, changing data type, pivoting column, replacing values, and a lot more. We have text column, that means text option. We have text data. You can do more with that. You have number, and of course, I'm not clicking on a number column. So do we have a number here? Let's click on age. You can see now the options are active. But if I click on segment, it disables this, it enables this, right? So based on what we can do, some options are available for us to use. If we scroll again, we have date and time. Of course, I'm not clicking on any date and time here, that's why it's not active. If we go to the sales data, we will be able to click on date and time. And we have this for R and for Python. You want to write a script inside here. So we have add column as well, which is another ribbon. We have the general, again. We have the from member, we have date and time. And don't forget that we have this date and time as well on the transform. We have general, which is more of a text option, text column from the transform as well. Just a few things that appear in the transform and also appears in the hard column. We have the view, we have the tools, and we have the help as well. So let's go back to this. We have not explored this, we only mentioned them. Before we explore them, what are these? So here we have our queries. Consider query as just a connection made to a data source, okay? A connection made to a data source. That's what you should consider queries as. And in this place is just the same way you have it in your Excel. You call them formula bars. So consider it your formula bar in this place. So we have a formula bar right here. And for every steps, where are the steps? These are the steps. You see, it says applied steps. For every steps you see here, there is a code. There's an underlying code behind it. You can consider this as when you're trying to automate something in Excel using macros, there's an underlying code behind macros, which is called VBA, right? So behind every transformational steps that you apply, there is an underlying code behind them for anything you do. And this code is called the M code. The M code. Do you have to learn it? You probably don't need to. Trust me, you do not need to learn it. If you pay good attention to details, after a few times you can start to know how to manipulate things directly from this place. You can change something, you can do something else, and then you're good, you're fine. You don't need to know it to use Power BI effectively. No, you don't. Here we have properties for your query. Do not forget these are the queries, properties, and applied step to your connections or your queries, right? So here you can easily change your name. Click on all properties. Just wait for that. So you can see you can add a description, and also do the enabling that we did earlier, and disabling, enable or unenable. Yeah, it's disable, unenable, or unable. Okay. Oh, unable, disable. Yeah, disable is the word. We have unable, but disable is the opposite for this. And include the refresh reports. You don't want it to be refreshed, you want it to be refreshed. You can do that from here as well. You can add a description. This is the customer data from Superstore, blah blah blah. Just do that. So cancel. But to change the name only, you just have to enter this place and you do that directly. So let's consider the steps. Whenever a connection is made, that means whenever there's a connection to a data source. Data source in this case might not necessarily be a database. It can be a flat file, can be a database, can be web data, it can be anything. Anything in context of what we have seen before. If we go to home and we scroll all the way here and we click on new sources. So in context of this, so that is anything in context of this, or in context with this. So where are we? So whenever a connection is made to any data source, there are some steps applied, because naturally Power BI will carry out some steps on those data. It doesn't assume everything is fine, so some basic things it will do by itself. Majorly, the most 3 steps we will always see is this particular one, and that's why I have to go to the product. For other ones it might be different, because we did some transformation on this, right? We used the folder option, so it used some function and functions for us. On sales, we combine ourselves, so we're only seeing source. And for products, this is the one that came in clean, right? So we have the source, which is the first step, shows a row and a table. If we click on it, of course, that's navigation. It will go to this one, and navigation is this place where it extracts the table. Let me just show you quickly. If I click on this, you can see it says you're about to replace. So let me just click on continue for now. And that is it, navigation. And you see that when you jump to navigation, it also jumped immediately to what? Changing data type. Of course, Power BI detects our data type based on the first 200 rows. It assumes that, okay, it looks at the first 200 values and say, okay, based on this first 200 value and the consistency that's seen, this data type will be this, this data type will be this, this data type will be this, this data type will be this. Will Power BI be always right? Well, majority of the time, if I can say it that way, most of the time Power BI will be right, but it's good to check. And if you don't like something, you change it yourself. So how do we do that? How do we do that? It's a very important check to always do yourself. But before we can do that, we need to know all the data types available to us in Power BI. Okay, how do we know, or how do we check? Any table at all. Okay, any table at all. We'll click on the icon we find here. But since all these icons are the same, I will go to another one so that I can see what I'm saying. So let's come here. Okay, so the first 4 are the same, but this is different, right? Let's go to sales. There should be more difference. Okay, this is different, this is different, this. Okay, so they are different ones. So you just to emphasize the fact that they are different. Let me zoom into that for you. See, this is 1, 2, 3. This is ABC. This is 1, 2, 3. This is a calendar. This is a calendar as well. All right. So let's see all the data types we have available in Excel. I'll just click on any of them, either the ABC, the 1, 2, 3, or the calendar icon. So if I click on that, this is a table icon, by the way. It lists this thing out, and we see the first one for numbers section. We have decimal numbers, fixed decimal, whole numbers, percentage. And right here we have date and time, we have dates, we have time, we have daytime, time zone, we have duration, and we also have text. We have Boolean, binary, and all. Okay, so these are the things that we have these are the data types we have in Power BI. Alright, so you can feel free to change any of the data types that you feel, oh, this is not correct, this is not what I want to use. Alright, and for everything we do, by default, it applies the change type to all our data. See, the only reason we're not seeing that in the cells is because at the point of loading them individually, it already did that. Okay, so it doesn't do that again, it doesn't repeat it, except we now say, okay, well, we still want to change ourselves. Yes, we can. It doesn't, because it has done it for us, we cannot change it. We can. So let's start with the customer and explore all of the customer data types, and we'll agree if Power BI correctly interpreted all our columns. This as text, because ABC is text. Do not forget the icons. Okay, ABC icon, that's text. So this is text. And yes, we agree that this column should be a text. Customer ID text, that's fine. Customer name text, that's absolutely fine. These are important checks that you should do yourself as a data professional. Don't just jump into detail that everything is okay. I've looked at the column profiling to know if there's an error, there's an issue, or anything. And so far, we didn't find any issue. But it doesn't mean we are ready to carry out analysis. We might still want to create new columns, do some feature engineering, do some preparation and all of that. So let's just go through our data and understand very well what we're working with. So segments, text, that's fine. Age, number, country, text, that's fine. So far everything is fine. City, text, state, text, postal code, numbers, region, text, that's fine. Now at some point we might say, okay, we want this to be more of a geographical kind of thing, but yes, when we want to do map, we'll get to that point and we'll see how Power BI handles it just for us. Okay, so what else? All good here. Let's go to the product table. So product ID as text, nice. This category as text, nice. Subcategory as text, nice. And product name as text. That's just so fine. We don't have any problem with this. Let's go to the sales. Order line, we have it as this, correct? Numbers. But in reality, we know that we don't want it to be numbers. Okay. So I'll click on this and we'll change it to text. If you don't know, I'll leave a comment in the comment section below. If you don't know why we're changing the order line to a text, okay, leave a comment in the comment section below, or do want to talk about it, ask the question in the Telegram channel, and you'll be enlightened properly on why the order line, even though you're staring at numbers, should be a text. Okay, so order ID text, that's fine. Barcode values, numbers, don't have any problem with that for now. Order date, date, that's fine. Ship mode, good. Text, all good. Numbers, decimal, because 1.2 is decimal, do not forget, decimal, correct. We don't have any problem with that. Quantity, numbers, whole numbers, right? That 1 to 3 is whole numbers, 1.2 is decimal. Discount, decimal, profit, decimal, very perfect. I think we're good with the data type that Power BI has for us. We only change one. We have left it the way it is, but it's good that we changed it. Okay, so this is what we have, and yeah, so far on data types we are cool. We've looked at our data, everything seems okay. So the next thing we'll probably want to do is, are there any columns we will not need or we don't need? Why? This helps working with the data faster. We can just take them out completely. Okay, we can take them out completely. But let me emphasize on something quickly. There's some of the options we can get from the top here. We can also get by right clicking on a column. You can see we have way lot of them on this as well. So just keep that in mind. So most times you might not necessarily go up to do something. You can just do it directly from here. Okay, so for example, removing columns. Okay, removing columns, we can do that from here. We can right click, remove. or we can just hit delete on our keyboard, something like that. So let's look at this data. Is this okay? Do we need this? Do we need the source name? Let's look at it. Well, the only case where we need the source name is if the regions were not specified in the actual columns themselves, right? So for practice and so that you can have the experience of exploring, right? So that you can explore this together, the transformational steps together. How do we do it? So since it adds the source name, how could we have handled it, right? How can we handle it and maybe make it something clean this way? So just for that sake, we'll quickly work with this. So let's say we are assuming now that we do not have this column region specifying. Okay, so what can we do with this? Since we have the names there, we have different options. You can firstly split the column. Okay, we can split the column. Now let me take the time to explain the difference between add column and transform. Whatever we do on transform and the option is available on add column, what is the difference? Let's take a look. On transform column now, I'm currently on, and I've used something else to explain before, and you'll remember when I do it again. So on transform column, I'm currently on this place, and I want to do, let's say, extract, and I want to say extract after delimiter, or let's say between delimiters, right? That's easy, right? You can just specify the delimiters once and for all. Let me click on that option. Okay, the first delimiter is an underscore, because we have an underscore, and the second one is a full stop. Very easy. Advanced options. We have some other options here, but we'll just leave that for now. So I want to extract everything after the underscore and before the full stop. So let's click OK. Do not forget I'm on the transform option, and I'll click OK, and boom. You see, it cleaned it up in a second for me. No time. So powerful and fast. Imagine when we do that manually, we'll probably write a long function. We can do this with DAX. We can do this with functions and all of that. But this is better. Why is this better? Now, when we get to DAX, what is DAX? Data analysis expression. I'm not trying to bring all of those things. Don't worry, we'll still properly take a look at them. But I'm trying to bring them in so that you can understand the dynamics and how they blend into one another. I just mentioned that we can do this same thing because most of what we can do with Power Query, we can also do with DAX as a function. But why should we use Power Query? Why should we use DAX? If we are connecting, if it's a transformation process that is coming from the source, it's good to use Power Query. Okay. Don't think about that too much. I'll still go right again. The point is, we now have a clean version of our data. Very easy. If we look at the apply steps, we can see that for any option, we have an X button beside it. X button, that means I can delete a particular step, transformation step, whenever I choose to. But before we do that, I want you to see something important. So I'll delete it. I will delete it, no doubt. Okay. Now it's gone. This is back. Let's go to the add column. And we'll see extract, text between delimiters, underscore, and this, full stop. Now click on OK. Let's just wait. Now, you notice that, okay, we're not seeing anything. But it has added a new step. Now, pay attention to what it says inserted text. Inserted. Let me show you the one we did before. Extract text between delimiters, underscore, full stop, click OK. That says extracted. This one says inserted. So let's cancel the extracted one. I've seen it before. So what happened in this case? Don't forget that when we got this is the option we use under add columns. Add columns is what gave us inserted. And if I scroll all the way down, let's go, you can see the new column. So the difference between these two is that when you use transform, it overwrites that current column. It overwrites it. That means you lose the original thing. So the new one replaces the original one. But when you use that same feature in add column, it retains the original one. The original is still there and creates a new column instead for your particular transformation that you have just applied. Okay, I hope that distinction is clear. And like I said I used something else to explain before, and that was when we did append queries and append as new. Alright, so I hope that's a good reminder for you. So in this case, we just have to rename. How can we rename the column? We can just take this out and say region. Okay, let's use customer region. It's just a test, do not forget, just for you to see how this works. So customer region, and this is what we have. Simply renamed it. That's all. We simply renamed it. So what's the last thing we probably want to do? Probably want to capitalize the first letter of individual words, right? So we can right click and then do our transformation. So let's go here. We can say uppercase. So no, that's not uppercase. Capitalize each word. Of course, we just have one single word there, and boom, that's added it. We now have a clean version just like this: central, east, south, west. If you look at this as well, central, east, south, west, just like that. We have been able to, in just few clicks, we have been able to clean up this data. So we are assuming that we do not have anything identifying the regions. Do not forget that it was combined. Now we will be able to identify it ourselves. And that's the point of this entire exercise. So one thing I'll leave with you, because just like I said, it's a crash course and we will not be deeply exploring all the options of Power Query, just a few that we will be working with. Okay, just a few that we'll be working with. By the way, the split and all of that we also have there. So what you do is that when you hover on any of this, it gives you a quick idea of what you can do. This is something I emphasized in Excel when we're looking at the interface of Excel, right? Then, and it's still the same thing. It carries over to this place. You don't know what an option does. That's fine. Just go there, replace value, hover on it. It says replace existing value in the, just make your cursor there. That's all. Don't click it. Replace the existing value in the currently selected column with a specified new value. See, that's just it. Extract, it says extract characters from text value. Pass, it says extract rows and columns from XML or JSON formatted text. So that's all you have there. You just have to explore yourself. Okay, but however, if you have a specific use for it and you want to be able to do something particular in Power Query, do want to leave that in the comment section below, and I might just make a video on it just for you. Okay, so back to this. We have this, and as I said, we can delete any steps. But before you delete, do something very important. These steps are sequential. What does that mean? If I delete a step in between, it can break my entire query and it can cause problem for me. Yes, when you use Power Query more, you start to understand, okay, there are some queries or there are some apply steps you can still delete and nothing will break. But keep in mind that the steps are sequential. So do not just delete anything anyhow you want it. That's first thing to keep in mind. So if you want to delete, and you can preview. What do I mean by preview? By clicking on a step, you can see the state of your data at that point. If I go back to source, this is the state. This is all I had. There was no data at this point of the source. Filtered. This was the next thing. Nothing at that point. Invoke. Nothing. See? It looks like nothing, but something is going on, no doubt. See? Something is going on. There was no table before, but at the point where you invoke this function, see, when you invoke this function, now I have another column called transform file, and then it says rename. Then I have this, so see what it looks like now, and I have it expanded and all the way. So you can see every stage. You can preview the state of your data at every point in time before you go ahead to delete. So you know if it's safe or not. So, but keep in mind that it is sequential and it's not good to delete in between. So it's good to delete from the end all the way that way, all the way back to the top if you really want to do that. So in this case, of course, we do not need all of this. We only use that for demonstration purposes. What can we do then? We can delete it. But before we take it out and return back to the original state of our data, because the last thing we did was change type. That part I did for us, it was change type. What other thing should you know about your steps? You can rename steps. And it is good because it's a good practice, because when you're working with a much larger data and a very messy data, you probably want to apply a lot of steps. And if you don't do that, if you're just keeping these generic names, the steps will be too much. You will not remember what you actually did in a particular place. Okay, and you might want to take out a particular step, but if you don't remember properly what you did, it might be difficult. There's also a good practice for someone else looking at your work. They can understand, okay, well, this is what this person did at this point, and this and this and this and all of that. How do we rename? Right click and rename, just like that. So there you go. Just right click on it, rename. You have it that way, and you can rename the steps. So changes to, now if the name is long and descriptive, it's not bad. Okay, not too long, moderately long and descriptive. It describes properly what you did. That's actually okay. What else should you also pay attention to is that some steps have this gear icon or settings icon, whatever you call it, and some do not have. This has, this do not, or this does not. Okay, so let's take the zoom off. What do they mean? It means that anyone that has the gear icon, you can change something about it. You can edit it. For example, I can click on this and I will be able to edit. You see, I will be able to edit something about that particular step. But I don't want to do that in this case. Okay, but that's just something to keep in mind. So I'll delete this, delete it, delete it, delete this as well. So back to the original data. So the column customer region we created is gone. We deleted the steps and we're back to the original data. So when we look at columns we need and columns we don't need. Do we need this column? No. We delete it and it's gone just like that. So one thing I also advise is a senior kind of thing, a pro tip. Let me just use the word pro tip. A pro tip. What's the pro tip for you? The pro tip for you is that whenever you want to take out columns, if you want to perform a particular transformation, do it for all the columns at once. So for some of those transformational steps, they can be combined into one. So you don't have unnecessarily long steps. For example, let's say now I change data type of this, I remove this, change data type of this, remove this. The steps will just keep piling up and then it's too long. But if I want to remove all columns, let's say for example I want to remove this as well. Let's do that. You see, it's still retaining a single column. It's not adding it to another column. And if I click, you see, it's just adding it to this. So that means I can now edit this and add another column. For example, say age. And boom. Hold on. So I can say age. And I just click OK. And age is gone. So you can see that I'm now editing the hem code myself. Of course, don't try it at home. This is a professional demonstration. But it's that simple, okay? Nothing serious, nothing there about to panic. So just keep that pro tip in mind. I hope you don't forget it. Let me cancel it. Okay, so we deleted this one. The next one, customer name, we do need it. We need the ID, segment, age, country. We've checked the data type already, don't forget. We need the city, yes, we need the states, we need the postal code. Do we actually need the postal code? Not necessarily. So in this case, we can just take it out. And the last one is the region, and we need it. Alright, so let's look at the next one quickly, just to check what we want, what we don't want, before we now look at if there's any other feature engineering that we can carry out. But so far, we want all of these. We've removed the ones we do not want. So go to product 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we basically want all of these. And then for the sales, other line, yeah, so we want that other ID. We want the barcode value. Will probably not add any value to the data, even though it's a barcode value. It's not going to add any value for us. Why? It's basically, consider this as you have a QR code or a barcode that you scan to verify the authenticity of a product or genuinity or the originality of a product. So somehow those codes here cannot be saved in image, in the database. So they probably have these IDs. So they have these IDs underlying beneath them that is attached to all those images that you scan. So that's what these values are, but we don't need it in our case, so we can just take it out. It's gone. We have this. Here's very important: ship mode, customer ID, product, this, yeah, and the rest of what we have are also important as well. So let's close and apply. We'll call it a wrap from here. So in the next one, we'll now further explore what more options do we have and what more can we do with our data. Okay, what more can we do with our data? The new columns we should create of these. What other Power Query option will be very important to us? And yes, that's what we'll do in the next one. So for this, we're good to go. As usual, I'll go all the way back, click on home, click on the way back, and click on close and apply. So just wait for it. Regardless of the view, just hold on until you see the steps applying. All right. See, it might take a while, but just wait for it. So it's loading, and this error is still troubling us. I'll close it for now. So if I go to my table view, this, everything seems good. I'll go to this piece as well. Everything seems good. So remember to save, Ctrl S, and yeah, I'll see you in the next.